Hello and welcome to another episode of Fireside Podcast Gamer Stories. Welcome, and let me tell you something. This is a place where casual gamers come together to relax, chat, and vibe about all things gaming, alright? So join us around the virtual fire today with a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, thank you for that lovely introduction. My name is Phil Irvin. Some know me mainly as Commando FTW on most platforms. Uh, been in the gaming industry for a little over 15 years, and I've dabbled in everything from competing to broadcasting to even touching a couple game development stuff. So kind of all over the place.
Okay, how did your gaming or esports journey started and when exactly? As you mentioned, you did participate in tournaments and you know things about indie games, studios, etc. So how did this happen? How did it start and when?
Okay, so my story goes back pretty far. So when I was in high school, I was living in New York at the time, and you know, I was working and going to school at the same time, and not really knowing exactly what I wanted to do in life. But I always had like a passion for playing Halo. Halo 3 and 2 were like my favorite games to play. And one day, one of my friends introduced me to MLG, which is well before the esports the esports actually started picking up. It was like this is like beginning times,
Uh,
and so I kind of competed in that for a while. I never won anything big, but won enough that I kind of really appreciated the game and what it was all about. And I did that for so odd years until I found out that you can be on TV for gaming. So I did a couple shows. uh, I was actually featured in I think one of the original Black Ops. They had a TV show, and I participated in that for a couple of years. So I kind of got around in the beginning, and this is back in like 2010, so long
wow.
time ago.
Very long time ago. And talking about the time, it's unfortunate how time has uh, changed, right? Meaning that you could have potentially did this nowadays and successfully had an esports career making a lot of money, but due to the reason that you was born and played video games this this type of years ago.
Yes,
That
very early.
yeah,
I
very
agree.
early. And the
I agree. Back in
MLG
the
is the
time.
yeah MLG is the OG of the esports. StarCraft was also one of the
Yeah.
first esports games, and now it has evolved to having tournaments like Dota International. Had 20 million prize pool for the international tournament.
See, that's crazy. Yeah, see, they've come a long way for sure.
Very long way, and I can relate to you because I was in a very similar boat, but I was somewhere in the middle. I played Heroes of the Storm, and I was somewhere in the middle where I was making some sort of money, but at the same time, it was not as much as professional gamers do nowadays, you
Like,
know.
no, I totally agree. So like, yeah, and on top of that, like I'm a little older. I'm 33 right now. Gonna be 34 this year. And when I first figured out that you can even make money off of playing video games, no one at the time even believed that that was a possibility. So that you didn't really have a lot of support, a lot of backup. You kind of was just doing it on your own and kind of hoping for the best. And now there's classes you can take in certain schools. There's so many different things you can do now that will uplift the next gaming culture. Like they have all this support now and all this like possibilities, and it's a beautiful thing to see it evolve.
100%. Professional teams have even professional analysts, coaches, even people that help. actually have a sustainable and healthy lifestyle with workout and diet, to maximize the potential of you know, of results of the individual, because healthy mind, healthy body, uh,
Yep.
it does matter. Um, but yeah, things have completely changed, from like day and night. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful world that we live in now that like we even get to enjoy like simple things like this, like having a conversation about gaming, and it's not taboo anymore. It's like everyday life almost.
yeah. Um, Nowadays you can definitely have a real career path. There's a lot of opportunities in gaming industry, and especially if you're good at a video game that does have a successful esports scene, there is a potential of making a lot of money. Um, it's not a stereotype no more. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh
It's
yeah,
it's it's a
exactly.
it's a reality. Um,
It's very real. It's a very big possibility. And that's kind of like where my life has been changing recently, is that I figured out a little bit younger, which I'm very grateful for the mentors I had at the time that told me that you can still live your life in the gaming industry and you don't have to just compete because the gaming industry has so many facets to it now. There's so many different career opportunities uh, that got built solely from the beginning levels of people getting playing games and they're competing. Like there's podcasts. There's you can commentate. You can be a coach. You can be an analyst. You can. There's so many different outlets you can take now,
you know what I
and
come?
that's what I.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying that's what I love.
Yeah. I just compare it basically to sports. Everything that you can do in a sports game, you can do it in an esports game. You have commentators, you have casters, you have people that set up the stage, for the LAN events. Um,
Yep.
you, you have referees during the games. Like it's all real, and it's yeah, I really compare it just to sports. The difference is that there's a E letter, which means electronic sports, and it is maybe not played with the whole physical body, but gaming is not easy at a pro level. It takes a lot of mental skill, and depending on which game and genre, right? But yeah, like even CS, it takes a reaction and critical thinking to the next level, for example, which in my opinion is like basically the best esports game, Counter Strike 2.
Oh, is that your go-to for like a good esports game?
No, I mean I've played it a lot since I was like 7 years old, starting CS 1.6. But that's my favorite esports game. Listen, any granny, grandpa can turn on Twitch, turn on a major tournament, and see that there's five counter terrorists, right? There is five terrorists, and they have guns, and they're shooting in the head, right? And it just looks, you understand what's going on. So that's why
Yes.
CS is the most successful. And then it comes obviously League, Dota, and other games which are embodied because solely the reason of people have invested so much time, and these games are OG games for 10 to 15 years, and everyone knows what the abilities, most people know what they do, what is this hero, how the game is played. So that's why there is still a lot of viewership and support uh, in these games, in my
And
opinion.
oh no, you're 100% on the money. It's a beautiful thing too. Like they paved the way for a lot of these new esports companies, these new esports teams, these new games that they're trying to get into esports. It all started from, yeah, like you said, CS, Dota, and League, honestly, and they carried the industry for years before it was this big.
Yeah. And of course, let's not forget the same StarCraft, because that game is
Oh, yeah, of course, StarCraft as well.
yeah, that's the
Come on, get it out, big fella. Get it out.
tip off
Get
of
it
the
out.
So yeah,
iceberg.
that's
Yeah.
when I first learned about tournaments. I was hearing about CS and StarCraft for sure. And but I never owned a computer at the time, so I just would just like watch them and just be so amazed.
Yeah, I was same with even StarCraft. For me, I wouldn't really play StarCraft, but I would watch every tournament because it was just so exciting to see have a video game to be played at such a high level with almost everything that has a sports game has when it comes to like I said, analysts, host, commentators, referees, spectators,
It's a
everything.
whole ecosystem.
Yeah, it's a whole system. That's why, like you said, there's a lot of opportunities nowadays. You can literally be anything. You like video games and you're amazing at writing, you can be a writer. You can, I don't know, you can be a game designer. There's so many opportunities, and it's all reality, not just a dream.
Honestly a beautiful thing. Like I said, it's I love watching it grow. Like I feel like it's like at this point it's been most of my life for so long. It's like watching a family member like become of age.
Yeah, I completely agree. I grew up with it and I'm still here. I prefer everything about esports more than real sports, even though I did a lot of real sports when I was younger, but still, I don't
Yeah,
know.
honestly,
Yeah, it's just like also part of it is like investment. Like I've been following all the gaming industry in whole when it comes to video games, new ones and esports specifically. So it's like kind of tough to just let it go, especially if that's something you actually love and you're interested in.
yeah, no, it definitely creates a strong passion.
Yeah. And then passion can be you know made into something beautiful, like
Passion can turn into profit.
yeah, profit. I mean, yeah, exactly. um so if you don't mind telling us, when and what was the stepping stone for you when it comes to success in gaming industry, specifically you?
So funny enough, my first knowledge of success, my first, because like I've done a lot of things that I thought were like the biggest things ever. Like I was on the when I got onto that Call of Duty show, I thought that was the biggest thing. Like I got paid to get I got flown out to California, paid to record there, and then they also gave us like spending money and like I think I was like 18, 19 at the time, and I was like, oh my gosh, like if I can do this, like I can do anything. And years passed. Nothing really panned out as much as I thought it would.
Timing.
Uh,
It's just unfortunately timing. Like I said, man, if you was born a little bit later and the stars were in different locations,
aligned. But
yeah.
I will say, I mean, I also had like I had not, I wouldn't say a difficult childhood. I just had a kind of confusing childhood. I moved around a lot, so I never stayed in one place for very long. So I wasn't able to make a lot of friends and stuff until like I finally got to high school, and that was like the first time I was in a place for like longer than 4 years.
Okay.
And I got lucky enough to be in New York, and you meet a lot of interesting people in New York.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely a place to network as well.
Yeah, so after I competed for a while, like I knew one of my friends that actually right now he's a League of Legends caster. Like he
Oh,
casts for like and stuff like that. And he grew up in Jersey, and like I watched his whole career grow. And I was like just like, wow, like you can really just do whatever you put your mind to, you can really do it. So I eventually moved out of New York, saved up, got my life together, and then I started doing streaming. And while I was streaming, I also go to a lot of conventions like PAX East and TwitchCon and all these kind of things. And that's kind of where I saw like companies would like hire you to do things. And so I worked for a few companies and oh come on. Sorry. So I worked for a few companies and I was like, okay, I can do this for a living and I don't have to work a 9 to 5. And that was like my first realization. And about last year, I got my first actual brand uh, partnership,
Okay.
and I was able to finally like now I'm on the path. I have a company called Dominanz Media Group. We support indie game developers. We have a newsletter that comes out every week or every 3 weeks, I believe.
Okay.
And yeah, we just kind of started making a company, and we're just kind of here to support the people. And through supporting people, people support you.
100%. I'm definitely also hard work and consistency just didn't happen in one day, I'm assuming, right?
No, consistency is, I know everyone says it. Everyone says, oh, consistency is key. But until you actually realize that, like, once you're consistent for a long enough period of time and then you're not, and you can watch the progress decrease, you're just like, okay, like, it really is. And consistent doesn't have to be every day, is what I tell people. Sometimes it starts one day a week. Make a post one day a week, stream one day a week,
Yep.
maybe even like do a tournament once a month. It starts somewhere and then you will grow from that.
Like with everything in life, with any industry, nothing is gonna happen out of, blue
It's
air.
impossible. It's
Yeah.
impossible. I know, especially when like the younger generation, they do expect because they see all these videos of people
Yeah.
just blowing it up so quick. But they never realize that you're only seeing it now because they put in their 10, 5,
Exactly.
10, 15, 20 years.
Exactly.
And now it's panning out and now you're seeing the result.
It takes it takes a lot of time. Usually, at least I would say 3 to 5 years would be the um average time span for someone to even get any success in streaming specifically or doing content in social media. It really does not
Yeah.
happen.
Even then that would be you really pushing it like day in day out because
Yep.
I've seen people like now I know some people that they have been doing gaming and all this kind of stuff for a little over like 30 years and they're just now getting their companies off the ground. They're just now like being able to not work a day job and just do their passion, their career, their goals. And it took me a while because I thought the same thing. I was like, once I hit 40, 50, like I don't want to keep hoping. But sometimes it can be 5 years, sometimes it really can be like 20, 30 years before you actually get noticed and you get like that stepping stone that you need.
100%.
Hello?
Those those people
What's good,
uh
man?
those people that basically
I am learning re
Which people are sorry.
I wasn't sure. I got audio issues. Let me
Oh,
double check. These people that do blow up in and go viral in a single day, those those are not those are it's like an exception, right? And you can't live a life based on exceptions, and only because someone blew up doing something viral and it became viral, that's like 1 out of 100 million, right?
yeah, 100
And
million exactly.
yeah, I'm not trying to take anything away from anyone, a lot of
Of
people
course
now,
not. You have
yeah,
a passion.
yeah, a lot of people nowadays think they're, special, this and that. And sure, uh, in some ways we all are, but only because one guy out of 100 million blew up, it does not mean it's gonna happen to you. So, there's always have to be a plan B in that type of sense. maybe your plan A is to go viral and blow up in one day, but I would not recommend going for a plan like that. But you need to have
So,
plan B in case you don't blow up.
because I do agree with you, but I will say there's a fine line. Because all right, yes, you can't bank everything on your plan A, but also if you just pursue your plan A, keep an open mind, because the plan B could literally be knocking on your door as you're doing these things. Like a lot of the people I know started off as like MLG players, and then they got that one call that they're like, hey. Can you commentate this small tournament in Brooklyn for us? And they do a really good job. They get noticed, and now they're in a different path they didn't know they were gonna be on. They love it, and they're still in gaming, and but now they're making a living off it that they don't have to work a 9 to 5. So 100%, like, try your hardest to get your plan A off the ground, but
Yeah.
your plan B could also just be like keeping your open mind for if something else pops up that you can learn to do.
Yeah. I'm just saying that I would I would like people just live in reality and have the plan B basically become plan A, where there's plan B is like, okay, I'll work hard, I'll be consistent, do this and that, instead of telling themselves, okay, I'll post a video once a month and hopefully it goes viral, and then I'm gonna start posting actively, in yeah,
Yeah,
in that type of sense. But
yeah,
yeah,
because that no.
yeah, but anything is possible nowadays, especially because of the society we live. You know, it's with the social
Yeah.
media and how the algorithm can work for you. So like yeah, like we discussed before, the times have changed.
Oh, 100%. Like
Yeah.
that's really what it is. And it's a great thing, but like I understand where you're coming from of like you're seeing so many success stories that don't think that you're going to be a one night success story as well. So you really the chances of that is very unlikely.
Exactly. And that's why, but I wish everyone the best and wish them success. But they just have to keep open mind that it does take a lot of hard work and consistency. Even if someone is
Yeah.
talented or skilled or in some ways like into or charismatic, right? Yeah, it can play for you, but still at the end, it can help you and it can basically be a way for you to reach the success. But again, if someone else is putting in more hard work, more hours, at the end of the day, in the long term, they're gonna take over the person that has that skill or talent if they are yet again not putting enough work or uh love into it or whatever you want to call it.
Because it's all about like what you like passion. So perfect example. I think my story really makes sense for this exact part. Um. Oh Jesus. So my first plan A, right? My first plan A, 2010. I'm fresh out of high school. I said I was gonna just compete and quit my jobs, just fly around the world, compete, and make my money that way, right?
Okay.
And my plan B, I really didn't have a plan B. But as I was doing these tournaments, flying around, going to conventions, and meeting different people, my plan A, like slowly, so that slowly, competing slowly became my plan B. And my plan A was just to be financially successful in the gaming industry, regardless of what position I can find.
Okay.
And I think that is what really changed everything. Once I had that mindset, like I went from, yeah, I can make a couple $100 competing, or I can go to a convention and do a video and get paid like a couple hundred, but I'll just make a bunch of different videos.
So how do you decide uh when you pursue the profit money more than your passion? Let's say if you do like to do something specific in the gaming industry, right? but you have an offer to do something else that
Yeah.
is not really your passion. Have you ever had a situation like that where you had to basically pick whether you make more money and drop what you're doing that you like the most, or you just decided to pursue your ultimate
So
passion and drop the money?
think of it like this. Most people, right, that start pursuing any kind of goal, whether it's gaming or going to school or anything like that, you do still have to have like make a living. You still have to have enough money to feed yourself and to have a roof over your head. So most people always have a 9 to 5, like a a day job. So it went from, yeah, I can keep pursuing exactly what I love 100%, and not take this other opportunity. But then I usually you're still working that 9 to 5 just to make ends meet while you're still pursuing that. Or you can still be in an industry, because honestly, I just love video games as a whole. Like I love everything about. I love the community. I love playing it. I love talking about it. I love writing about it. Like I just love video games. So that wasn't really big of a switch for me. Like, all right, let me just focus on making a brand, being able to quit my random day job, like just for example, working at like a coffee shop or something like that,
Yeah.
and I can still be in games, still save up, and then still pursue my passion. Like you never have to quit it. I
Do
guess what
you
I'm saying. You never have to quit.
do you still work a regular 9 to 5 while you keep doing what you do?
So no. So no, I haven't worked a 9 to 5 in a very long time.
So if you don't mind letting us know, how long did it took you for basically telling ciao to 9 to 5 and pursuing your passion to reach the success and profit?
It
Like,
honestly, in exact years, actually, I can tell you exact years. Um, it was 17 years. I've been doing video games from competing to where I'm at now for 17 years. Going to conventions, putting my name out there, talking to different people, talking to different organizations, figuring out what I even fit in.
hmm,
Because also, I don't know if this is a bigger thing, but I wasn't able to go to college. I didn't have the luxury to do that. So I don't have any credentials. I just have my brand, my word, and my personality. And then at some points, my skill, because I still do compete as well.
do do you think it was a blessing that you didn't have a opportunity to go to a college, as weird as it can sound, but if
Like, yeah, that sounds
your
weird.
your path possibly would have been completely different if you pursued college and getting a paper. In my case, I quit my university 1 month before my batch exam for bachelor degree, because I had
Oh,
to sign a contract for Virtus Pro and travel to China for Heroes of the Storm tournament. So I don't know how
hey,
yeah, I don't know how my life would have went, but but I
it's a risk. It's a
I,
risk.
I do not regret it 100%. I lived every boy's dream basically. So,
No,
but
I will 100% say you're right. It's a risk. Because yeah, like because it seemed like you were a lot more successful in like that kind of tournament life. And like I had very limited success, so I didn't make enough that like I was like, oh my God, I can probably like quit my job. Like I ended up going, I stayed at a job for long enough so that I could get a chef's degree. So I,
Okay.
I ended up being a chef in New York for like 5 years, and I saved up all of that money. And then when I decided, I was like, I think now is the time I'm gonna start pursuing my stuff again. That's when I started going for it.
Okay. So,
And
but
it's a risky thing to do because if you think about it, think about this. If you went to school, got a good degree, got a good job after that, saved up a lot of money, retired early, you can pursue your dream with no financial like headache.
Yeah. I mean,
So it's kind of hard to think about.
I think it has its own pros and cons basically.
Oh,
That
100.
yeah, yeah, that's what it is.
I
Also,
I like to think of it like like a starving artist. Like there's people that go to school and they just make their money, but then there's like artists, like people that make like paintings, and they're like homeless for 5 years until they sell that one masterpiece that like puts them on the map, and then they're like rich and famous for the rest of their lives.
hey, preach, but the thing is that also, again, it might be an exception, but if someone does not have an access to college or does not
Yeah,
have access to a regular job, they are so
true.
much, possibly they're so much more hungry. They're hungrier by nature, so they're pursuing their passion, the whatever they, doing a lot
Whatever they
more,
decide to do.
yeah, a lot more in depth, The other person, on the other hand, potentially could feel comfortable, living comfortably, make enough money. Hey, maybe, I lay it down today on a couch and eat some Lay's chips and watch new season of Daredevil, instead of,
Like I
oh,
don't have to
y-
go to job.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, this
I
other
feel
dude,
you.
or again, doesn't matter, a girl or a guy, but the other person could possibly be like, yo, I don't have anything to eat. I don't even have thoughts about eating Lay's chips, eating chips and
Yeah,
watching a
that's what
TV
I'm saying.
show.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go ahead and do another painting, and hopefully this
or
one.
enter another tournament.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Again, it's just an example. Exactly.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are, yeah, those are just examples. So
Yeah, no, because I remember, so I remember in high school before I got like my first full-time job, and I won my first Halo tournament in, yeah, I believe it was in Brooklyn, and I made like $600, right? I was like, oh my God, that's so much money to get from just playing a video game and winning.
yeah,
And so like I won a couple more about the same amount of money, and so I was like, oh, maybe I don't have to get a job. And then like right after that, I never won anything for like a year straight. I lost everything. So it was almost like gambling. Like I'd pay for entry and then I'd lose, so I wouldn't get the money back. So I was like, maybe I should think about having a backup plan. And that's why like you get that part-time job or you get that other job that is calling for you, and it might be something that you're good at. Like I didn't know I would be good at cooking. That was a random job I took.
yeah. That's why I asked the previous question regarding, when do you actually choose the profit over, pursuing passion or the ultimate passion.
I
But
guess it would probably be what you were talking about with like how comfortable are you with being uncomfortable?
yeah,
If you're uncomfortable being like poor, then yeah, you might want to like have a job that you can make some money. But if you understand that being less fortunate is what's going to get you to where you want to go, and you'll fight for that, then yeah, stick to what you're doing.
yeah,
don't
yeah.
don't settle on money
I completely agree.
then.
Um, I do have a one final question for you today.
Yeah, what's going on?
What are your expectations and goals in regards of the near future or even long term when it comes to gaming industry? So what are your expectations of them and what are your personal goals? What are you trying to do now? What are you trying to achieve? What is that maybe
Okay.
you're working on? Whatever you feel like
So
talking about.
this is going to be a longer question
Yeah, yeah, that's like
because
that's why it's one big question basically. So you get to
I'm like, what
choose. I'm giving you a choice, all right? I'm giving you a
the-
choice. You can talk about your goals, what are you working on, what do you expect of the gaming industry, or what are
Yeah, I
your,
think I can. I think I can do a little bit of answer for each one.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so what I expect from the gaming industry in itself as a whole within in the next 5 to 10 years, because that's usually how I kind of base my life. It's like 5 to 10 years,
Yep.
Because 5 years, you never know what's going to happen. In 10 years, if you're doing the same thing, you're usually pretty set in your ways. Um, so in 5 to 10 years, honestly, gaming, it's already become one of the giant, like the monumental ways of entertainment. And it has the most money out of many,
Exactly.
it makes more money than the music industry by far.
Exactly. That is a fact.
And so I believe that like we're moving towards the age of like this is going to be the 100% norm. As just like you're used to having an MLB player or an NFL player make so much money, you're gonna expect that from a gamer, or even like an actor versus a content creation or a streamer. So that is my expectation is that in the next 5 to 10 years, as long as you follow this kind of path, you're on the path of making way too much money, probably more money than you can even handle.
Yeah, two things regarding your answer. Fun fact is that nowadays a lot of pro players end up becoming a content creators, specifically, social media, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch live stream. Because one of the reasons is what you mentioned, that it is sometimes not that consistent. If you're not like top 10 player in a top 5 team or top 4 3 5, depending on the game, then you possibly might not be able to even make that much money as most of people think, so they end up doing content instead.
Yep.
That's one thing. And the second thing is that I agree, once again, the salaries will go only up, and we already know that, for example, CS has a salary average, I think, for a top player, 100 to $150,000 a month, which is very something very close to, professional sports.
Yep,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's so awesome.
Yeah, yeah, this is real facts. My salary was not even close. The game was not as big, and also, like I said, I started playing during the mid times of
Before it
esports.
got before the money got started like flowing in over there.
Yeah, it did start flowing a bit later, probably like 2 to 3 years later. But again,
Yeah,
I do not have any regrets, and I lived any kid's dream. Um,
yeah, because you're also. I feel like you're in a good position now. You're enjoying what you're doing.
yeah.
You know
Um,
what I mean? Like,
this is not wouldn't be my main way to make profit, but what I do, I like playing video games. I like talking with gamers, and yeah, there's obviously more to it and more opportunities. I just started recently, uh, working and helping with Long Island Gaming League, so just look.
which shout out to them. That's so awesome. I
Yeah.
so fun fact. I by the time I found out about the organization, I had already moved out of New York.
Oh, I see.
And but I usually travel to New York once a year because I go to Boston for a convention and then I spend a couple days in New York. And I randomly saw them. Like it popped up. I think I typed in just like any gaming events happening like that weekend. And I saw they had like an event at some bar that like is close to like where my friends lived. So I was like, hey, let's all go to a gaming event. They're like, wait, what? And like I literally took them to like one of their first like bar kind of
Was it
game
Brookline?
days. No, this was on Long Island. This
Oh,
was
Long
like
Island. Okay, my bad. Okay.
yeah, this was man, maybe 2000 like 17 maybe.
Oh, time
17,
flies.
18.
Yeah, that is some time ago. It's like eight
Yeah, and
years.
but I always kept in touch with you guys and like I
Yeah.
always kept close to the company. And so that's why it was so funny when I saw that. I was like, oh man, like I'll do whatever you guys want. Like you guys are amazing.
Likewise, I mean, I got to know you today a bit more. You seem a very cool person. We do appreciate you coming to the podcast. We got little insights of your knowledge and wisdom. We really appreciate it. But before you leave, could you maybe give a shout out or provide your social media and maybe once again let us know what you're working on right now. What are you
Yeah.
looking for? Yeah.
Yeah, no, so I got you 100%. So, as you guys know, I am Commando FTW on all platforms, all social media platforms. I do have my own personal content creation brand, but as of this year, I am a part of a company called Dominanz Media Group. We started it up in February. We are a newsletter slash gaming hub. It's a website you guys can feel free to go to and subscribe to.
Yes.
And it gives you all information about new content creation, new indie games coming out, and we give away stream keys and different kind of gifts every month. So definitely check them out. That's how I've been funded to do a lot of these things. I also recently just joined the Global Gaming League that is run by T Pain and Clinton Sparks, who are
Oh,
two major people uh, in the music business, and they are set out to make one of the biggest esports entertainment conglomerates that is known to man, and that's where the
damn.
hat comes from. It's been and that's been a crazy ride. That they have actually made me start competing again, so it's so funny.
Well, that's
uh,
great to hear. Wow, amazing.
yeah, and then I also, if you see my glasses, I am partnered with Zenny Gaming, and through them, they also help with all of my travels to conventions. They have cheap and affordable glasses. I wear a different pair at least every day. So always check them out as well. I have a link, so if you come to me, I can give you guys some discounts, so you don't have to worry about spending an arm and a leg to wear glasses and look good. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
your social links will be in
yeah,
the description right here below, so definitely check it out. Give a look, and you might find something you like. Definitely.
yeah. And and like always, if you have any questions about anything like indie or convention wise, or I'm always open. My DMs are always open. I love helping people. I love having conversations like this, just like gaining information about gaming from different viewpoints. So I'm always open to help and teach people and grow with, because I want everyone to grow.
Yeah.
I
That
wish I had someone that would just give me information. And so now I'm trying to be that person for the next generation.
Hey, that's why also Fireside Gamer Stories are here. This is exactly what we're here for, just to have great conversations, provide each other with some knowledge and wisdom, and move on to the next day with the information we've gained. And hopefully, yeah, we can stay in touch. I'll definitely would like to play some more, off stream. So, yeah, thank you once
Yeah, we.
again for pulling up to the stream and joining
Oh,
us.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. It's honestly a pleasure and an honor.
All right, take care, man. Till the next time.
Oh, yes. Be good, guys.